Hello everybody and welcome back to my channel. This is Alaka here for EPCreativeMedia and I'm back with a brand new video. You are going to have to excuse me guys because my voice, as you can hear, is sounding a bit rough as I am recovering from an illness. But before I proceed with today's video, I first bring you the verse for the day, and it comes from the book of Luke chapter 18 verse 14, and it reads, "I tell you, this man went down to his house justified rather than the other. For everyone that exalteth himself shall be abased, and he that humbleth himself shall be exalted." Now, to provide a little context with this verse, I'm going to go ahead and read you the verses that come before verse 14, which is from Luke chapter 18 verse 10 to 13, which read, "Two men went up into the temple to pray, the one a Pharisee and the other a publican. The Pharisee stood and prayed thus with himself, God, I thank thee that I am not as other men are, extortioners, unjust, adulterers, or even as this publican. I fast twice in the week, I give tithes of all that I possess. And the publican, standing afar off, would not lift up so much as his eyes unto heaven, but smote upon his breast, saying, God be merciful to me, a sinner." Now, this is basically a lesson in humility, but also a perfect depiction to what living under the law looks like versus living under grace through Jesus Christ. When you receive Jesus Christ into your life, the Holy Spirit from within helps renew your mind, which in return does produce humility. Whereas living under the law, people have to make an active effort to keep the commandments. This in turn makes people sin conscious, where they deem themselves good when they live uprightly and what people perceive to be decent lives, looking at others who are not in the same positions as them as less than, or even the other way around, those who profess to be Christians by name, using their appearance and status as better than because they appear well-mannered and well-groomed, right? But Jesus has made it abundantly clear that it is the ones that think highly of themselves that will be humbled. There is nothing great or amazing about being prideful. Let's make that very clear. Pride is nothing to be like, it's not something to be like, yeah, boastful. Like, it's honestly, it's nothing to take into like account as part of your personality, your character, your lifestyle. Okay, for it is pride that literally had Satan and a third of the angels thrown out of heaven, and why we as human beings are living in a fallen world full of hate and destruction. So that is something that people need to kind of stop, and a little bit of food for thought about the importance of humility versus pride. Okay, humility is the way to go, because when you are humble, you actually put yourself in a place where you're able to listen to other people, you're coachable, you're teachable, and you're able to take accountability when you are in the wrong. You know what I mean? The reason why the world is the way it is because it's full of pride more than it is full of people who are actually willing to humble themselves and actually see the world for what it is and be willing to meet people halfway when they are in the wrong. We are not perfect, therefore we're not always going to be right in every given situation. So anyways, that was a bit of a long one than usual, but I think it was important, especially given the current circumstances that are going on in society and the ongoing battles that people have, whether it be in person or online, where everyone wants to always have the last word. But it's not about that at the end of the day. If you learn to be humble, then you know that you don't always have to have the last word in a situation. Anyways, moving right along. So yesterday, Paralives announced their early access launch date of the game, oh my gosh, which is marked as 8th December 2025. That is only 5 months from now, people. 5 months. That is like literally, is not a long wait at all. I am so super excited because I have been following Paralives from the very beginning, when Alex was literally a team of one. Okay, when he started his Patreon and it was just him, and a lot of people were kind of like a little bit like, okay, what is this going to do? Is it going to be fake or not? Because a lot of people were trying out live simulation games, but some of them did turn out to be scams. That's what's kind of crazy. And so it was kind of like a bit of a difficult time when Alex was trying to launch Paralives. And so they've announced that their early access is going to be, I think they're going to be charging $39.99, and they actually made the announcement during the PC Gamer event, which is absolutely amazing that they got included on an event like that. It goes to show that you put the work in, because Paralives, I think they started around 2019. I will reconfirm that when I go to the notes, but if I remember, it was around 2019. So it's been years in the making, and they've taken their time, and I love the fact that they've not tried to rush anything. Do you know what I mean? And so yeah, and then obviously after they announced it on the PC Gamer event, they later uploaded it onto their YouTube channel. So now I am ready to just delve into the bits and pieces that I've seen. You know, let's get into some of the cool features that were showcased in the early access date trailer. And may I add, the trailer is so beautiful. And then again, Paralives, to be honest, they've always had beautiful trailers. They do have a very cozy aesthetic and a very wholesome, which is really refreshing. You know what I mean? Something really different from The Sims. I'm a person who loves The Sims, and I also love hyper-realistic game features such as INZOI. And even within The Sims, I actually sometimes use Alpha CC because I do enjoy Alpha CC. But then again, there is a bigger reason why I enjoy Alpha CC in The Sims 4, for the simple reason that it does provide better representation, if truth be told, than even Maxis, if I'm going to be honest. With that said, let us kind of just go through the trailer and kind of like look at the bits and pieces that kind of stood out to me. Getting into the trailer, one of the things that I found to be quite beautiful on the offset is the landscaping. It basically had like a hilltop of some sort, you know, which I find kind of absolutely gorgeous. People jogging, and it was kind of like a cityscape type of thing. And immediately after, when they go indoors, they basically featured the adjustment of the sofa. Now, here's the thing, one of the first things that I ever fell in love with when it came to Paralives from the very beginning, when they started showcasing a few things. I remember they first showcased, I think, some windows, and then they showcased I think some furniture, stretching, etc. And I was sold. Immediately with that feature, I was sold, because I have now become a Sims player who enjoys create a sim, building, as well as gameplay. I enjoy it all equally, and I value it all equally. And so when I saw the building mechanics of Paralives, I was immediately sold. And I do love the fact that even when people were kind of trying to harp on them about their art style, they did not cave and change their art style. Yes, it's improved from how it originally was. However, the actual design element of it has not changed. And I love that about it, because it's got this sketchbook type style. And I like that they've kept that, because it makes it unique. It makes it different. And like I said, I generally absolutely love The Sims, and I love hyper realistic, but at the same time, I equally love the art style that Paralives has. I think it's possible to actually enjoy both. Why? Because they're two different games. If I include INZOI as well, they're three different games, so you don't expect them to be the same. Otherwise, what is the point of having the same exact style of game, and you're paying for all three styles of game, and you're literally going from one game to another but playing the exact same style, the exact same aesthetic? It kind of defeats the purpose. And so it fascinates me to see when, like, Sims players, for example, Sims players are quite notorious at being quite nasty and mean. I'll be very honest with you. The Sims community is capable of being an amazing community, but it's also capable of being a very nasty community, especially when people do not get what they specifically want out of the game. Kind of like the way INZOI is getting a lot of backlash for not having certain features in the game. And in my head, I'm thinking, well, at the end of the day, if you don't know somebody's culture, even if you live there, whatever it is that it is, you know, you can't try to force your own lifestyles, beliefs, whatever on their culture, if that makes sense. Because when you think about it, the Sims game is notorious for not representing Black people. No matter how much we have spoken, they still only give us tiny bit by bit, and then on top of it all, to add insult to injury, to be honest, they pander to Black folk by using a lot of Black creators to promote the game. If you notice that, I don't know if anyone's caught that, but I caught it a long time ago, you know. So we have to be a lot smarter than that when we look at some of these big conglomerates and how they use people, marginalized individuals, to promote their game, but in fact not make the necessary effort to truly include us. You can use Black people all you want to promote the game, but when all is said and done, when you go into the game, it's lacking heavily when it comes to Black representation. So it's funny to me that the people who are mostly represented in The Sims are heavy on complaining about the other games that actually have shown more inclusivity for people of color, if that makes sense. And so for me, I'm quite happy with the way INZOI is, by the way. I'm happy of the structure that it is, the way the game design is. I'm happy. I feel the developers should go with whatever they feel works for them and the market that they are trying to target. And Paralives will probably do the same. And so just leave it as is. If you don't like it, then don't buy it. Don't put your money on it. It's really that simple as far as I'm concerned. In the same way with The Sims, it's reached a point where I've ended up just going to mods and custom content in order to find better representation, because at the end of the day, we've screamed to the top of our lungs and they just pander to us. They don't give us proper Black representation. There's nothing much more we can do, if truth be told. Moving right along with the trailer. So the part that I actually enjoyed with Paralives is the part where they were sitting in the lounge, like I said. And as they were sat around the lounge on the sofa, what I found absolutely fascinating is the different sitting positions. Like literally everyone is sat in a different way. Everyone, including somebody sat at the edge of literally on the armchair. That is so cool. And oh my gosh, I love that. I feel like that alone adds depth to the game. That alone adds depth. And those loads of other features, such as the picnic. I love the picnic. I was wondering when they were at the picnic how much of the food on the picnic table was decor and how much of it was actually edible. And then they went over to the town center area where there was like a few shops, etc. There's people hugging, someone kind of stretching their legs, someone browsing clothes on the outside. I do have a question to whether like the Parafolk will be able to actually enter those shops. I'm very curious about that. And now bear in mind, this is going to be open world, and I think because it's going to be open world, I am going to assume that a lot of the buildings hopefully will be accessible. So we'll just have to wait and see. And like I said, you know, even if it's coming out in December, it is still going to be early access, so there's going to be a lot of fixes that are going to be taking place. And in the trailer they go on to showcase the kind of like floor plans, kind of like builds but on bird's eye view, and they do showcase like a curved build. And that's one of the other items that completely sold me when Paralives first came out, and they were showcasing the building elements and they showed curved walls, and I was so super excited about that, because if I recall at the time, The Sims 4 didn't even have curved walls, and we were like, yes, somebody's going to give us some curved walls. And so as the trailer goes, they kind of showcase honestly quite a number of really interesting things, including one of the characters that they showcase through the different stages of her life, it seems, all the way to the time she gets a family, she ages, she gets old, and you can see her coming from what appears to be maybe like a school to her having her own home with her family, and just all the decor, the sitting on the floor in the bathroom and crying and being comforted by the child. That was so cute. And the fact that those features are all going to be there, I am super duper excited for all those little features, because I think it's those little features that are going to make a difference, I think, in just overall gameplay and making the game a lot more fun for players, you know. So I'm definitely looking forward to the 8th of December of this year, 5 months from now. I already had Paralives on my wish list in Steam, so when it comes out, I'm going to be very ready. I'm already in their Discord server. I'm already following on Patreon. Literally, I've been following this journey for a really long time. I just have not been making videos because I didn't feel the point of making video after video after video after video. But the fact that they've now released a date when it's going to be out, yeah, a video definitely was needed for this particular occasion. And basically what they've actually done is, if you go over in their Patreon, they do mention that they've created new key art and a new logo. So the key art that I was looking at, as you're looking at the key art, I noticed that I think the guy in the green t-shirt might be actually Alex himself. It looks like it might be Alex himself. And obviously we've got the Paralives dog. That Paralives dog was there from the very beginning. It's literally the dog that's actually on the logo, on the profile picture of Alex on Patreon. That's the new key art that we're going to be using. And then the logo has completely changed. For those who don't remember, the previous Paralives logo kind of like had the Paralives, but in the beginning of the P, there was kind of like a house shape around it. So they kind of changed it more simplistic, but I actually do like it. I actually do like it. And as they mentioned on their Patreon, it's going to cost $39.99 for early access. And obviously they're going to increase the price when the game is fully available. $39.99, to be honest, for a full game where they're not going to be charging later on for DLCs is absolutely amazing. And even if they do increase the price, it's still going to be absolutely amazing. And they mention a number of features that we should expect. Okay, so these are the features that we should expect. In live mode, features available on day 1 of early access are going to be open world town, day-night cycle, work but rabbit holes. So the work is going to be rabbit holes to begin with. Career progression, personality traits, emotions, wants, skills, needs, social interactions, relationship development, multi-selecting characters and doing anything as a group, cooking system, house fires, builds, having children, aging and death, character autonomy, shops and restaurants, museums and collections, modding tools to add and edit the game's content. This is from early access, and that's amazing. You'll be able to mod the game in early access. And the planned to come out during early access features will be the calendar, the family tree, dogs, cats and horses, cars and bikes, cars, you guys, boats and houseboats. Houseboat, I'm so excited about that. Swimming, I wonder which areas we're going to be permitted to swim. I hope, unlike the Sims, it's going to be, I hope it's not going to be restricted just to swimming pool. Story progression for NPCs, gardening and fishing. I hope the fish will be edible. I want people to be able to actually catch the fish and actually be able to put it on the barbecue and eat it, or even sell it as an option. Organizing social events, I would say social. Organizing social events, parties, weddings, etc. Tools to edit and create towns. Oh my gosh, tools to edit and create towns. More personality traits, want, emotions, jobs, etc. So this is in live mode, okay? And in build mode, we are going to have color wheel for everything, a flexible wall placement tools, which includes curved at any angle, optional grid for wall placement, split level platforms, of course, building multiple floors, moving existing walls, object resizing, stairs and roof placement, and fences. And then the items that are planned to come out during early access are advanced roof tools, advanced stairs tools, which I look forward, because I'm hoping we're going to be able to have curved stairs that can go around the curved walls if you have a particular style of house. Placing windows and doors on curved walls, yep. Basement tools, pools, yes, and more furniture and objects, and that's in build mode. Now in the Paramaker, which is kind of similar to CAS, we're going to have in early access, literally immediately, color wheel for everything, height slider, body and face sliders, tattoo placement tool, layering and mixing of tops. I absolutely love that. Do you know how much I hate not being able to layer the outfits, the clothing in The Sims? I want to be able to kind of like dress them up stylish, but be able to put on a scarf, take it off, put on a coat, you know what I mean? And they'll be able to have like undershirt with a jacket, etc. I love that. And I think INZOI has that as well. It's got the layering. Asymmetric for eye color, socks, and more. I love that. I like that actually. Genetic system. And then obviously the items that are planned to come out during early access are creating and managing multiple outfits, creating pets in the PARAMAKER, editing the genetics of a para with advanced tools, more clothing items, hairstyles, and accessories. Now, I want to go back to creating and managing multiple outfits. I wonder if they're talking about different weather outfits or I'm curious about that one, but that's what we should expect when it first launches. And they actually went on to mention that once the game is fully available and it's out of early access, they're actually going to stop all payments to Patreon, because then now they won't be needing any donations, because now the game will be fully out. I mean, for me, I think just as for people who might want to maybe keep supporting on the side in case of anything, maybe an emergency fund, I don't know. And if it's legal, I wouldn't mind if they maintained their Patreon, and then those who want to continue supporting Patreon, they can still continue supporting the team on Patreon while still purchasing the game, because it is an independent project. I feel that I don't see why they cannot have the best of both worlds, because maybe they can use the Patreon to be able to give people access to other things that are going on behind the scenes, and then, you know, kind of in the similar way, but maybe less things hidden away, in the sense that, and by that I mean, I don't mean that they have been hiding things, because trust me, Alex Masse and his team have been completely and utterly transparent. I absolutely love that about the process that they have taken. They've been fully transparent at every single stage of the progress they've been making. But I'm talking about the fact that maybe, I don't know, it'd just be good if they were to kind of, I wouldn't mind if they were to maintain their Patreon, for the simple reason that they are an independent company. They're still a very small team, and they could get all the support that they need. And if it means people are still willing to donate via Patreon and support them while still be able to get a hold of the game, given the fact that they're not going to be charging people any more money, right, after the first payment of the game, I don't see why they shouldn't keep their Patreon. But I suppose they're doing it in goodwill, that they decided they're going to close it afterwards. I don't know if it's going to be closed. They're just going to probably stop taking pledges, but they'll probably be posting updates on the Patreon page, most likely. Maybe there'll be an option for people to donate, like one-off donations, maybe. I don't know. That actually brings me to the end of my Paralives review / reaction to the release date trailer. I am very excited, and I am looking forward to being able to actually play this game. I think it'll be a fun time. I think by the time we are going into 2026, we are going to have the privilege of being able to play The Sims, being able to play INZOI, and also being able to play Paralives. I think it's about time we had that level of variety when it comes to live simulation games, rather than just be pigeonholed into The Sims and The Sims alone and be frustrated with the breaking of The Sims all the time. Whereas now, whenever something's wrong with The Sims and you're still waiting for an update, hey, you've got 2 other games as an option to go and play. And when it comes to somebody like me, I've also got House Flipper as a 4th option anyways, because I do like that type of life simulation building kind of thing. So yeah, guys, let me know what you think down in the comments below. Are you excited for the release of Paralives? What do you think of the art style? What do you think of the trailer? Don't you find it absolutely adorable and beautiful? I thought it was absolutely gorgeous. Otherwise, guys, I wish you all blessings that God has to give. Please be kind out there. You take care of yourselves. Be safe. Take care, and goodbye.